Well, it looks like, boys, we need to have the same old conversation again. I don't know why this keeps on happening, but it just keeps on happening, it looks like. We have to have the same old conversation about how Xbox is doing fine. It's doing amazing. It's profitable. Did you not hear the last 15 times Xbox said that Game Pass is doing great? Some magically how without having any games on it? And now Xbox is once again canceling even more games. But it's doing great. Don't worry, guys. The Xbox is doing great. Trust me, Xbox is doing great.
Today we're gathering once more to discuss some sour news here in the world of Xbox. If you thought last month with titles like Project Blackbird, unfortunately, we've got more bad news for you. Another high-profile cancellation, though this one extremely
Please let it finally be Fable. I am so tired of waiting to hear that Fable is getting canceled, and I really want to suck one to those Fable fans that are being obnoxious and saying, "Oh no, Fable being in the oven for 12 years or some garbage is actually a good thing." I can't wait. I can't wait to be right on that.
surprising if you're paying attention. We'll talk about it, but the game we're looking at today is Contraband, which came from Avalanche Studios. This is the team responsible for games like Just Cause, and it was an exciting partnership. It was during an era where Xbox was teaming up with these studios and trying to get exclusives on their platform, and all we really had to go off of with this game was a CG trailer, pure vibes, some text descriptions, and otherwise we were just wondering when we'd see it next. The only rumor we really had to go off of surrounding Contraband was from Jez Corden on the Xbox 2 podcast, where he said that the game was slated for 2022 and then delayed to 2023, and it's 2025, y'all. So yeah, they missed by a lot.
Xbox is doing fine, boys. Don't worry about it, okay? They have said only 15 times that Game Pass is, like, really profitable and stuff. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's doing great. Also, but they can't. They can. Oh, baby, they can. They definitely can lie. In fact, not lying is arguably more bad because then your shareholders can sue you that you did not do your job hard enough, aka didn't chose to not lie to the public about your state, so they lost value. Okay? Oh boy, life.
Large margin. Anyway, apologies that this news video is late. I know a lot of you usually expect me to be like out day of. Typically we are, but given that Ninja Gaiden 4 preview was set to go and I was really excited about what I played with that, I thought, number one, let's let that video have a chance to do its thing. Number two, balance the scales a little bit. There hasn't been a lot of great things to say about Xbox lately, so I saw an opportunity where I went, oh, hey, I actually really genuinely like this partnership that Xbox made happen and the game that's resulting because of it. But now, switching gears, we're back to talking about canceled games at Xbox. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into what's going on in the world of Xbox, good or bad, that was posted on Avalanche's own website. They write, over the past several years, Avalanche Studios Group and Xbox Game Studios Publishing have collaborated on Contraband. Active development has now stopped while we evaluate the project's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen.
One more down the drain. But don't worry, because South of Midnight was so good. It delivered so hard. I mean, roughly 5 people liked it.
From the community since we announced, and we'll give an update as to what's next as soon as we can. Now, I imagine your expectation is that, oh, he's going to tee off on Xbox now, but frankly, not in this case. What this really speaks to is something I'll get into later in the video, but that's about the ability to ship games at Xbox and how they've gotten better at it over the course of this generation, especially compared to the Xbox One generation. But you have these moments here from the early days of the generation where, hey, we announced something way too early. Hey, we greenlit something and didn't know how to get it out the door. And this is the result. It falls in that same bin as Everwild. Now, Everwild was caught up in a storm of Perfect Dark, which we hadn't seen an update for a while, and we got one. It was a great update. It was exciting, only for it to be canceled shortly thereafter. Or Blackbird, which we didn't know what we...
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm sold on whatever the hell this diversity hire is.
only for it to be canceled shortly thereafter. Or Blackbird, which we didn't know what we had, but we had an amazing team that got absolutely shafted based on what leadership was setting up for them, the investments they were setting up for them, versus what actually ended up happening. Completely unjust there. In the case of Contraband, it falls in that Everwild bag where it's both a game that was announced so early that I kind of forgot about it at times. Like, if I didn't cover Xbox so regularly across Defining Duke and this channel, I would be with a lot of you out there and go, oh yeah, oh well, I guess that's gone. There is that little bit of apathy in it all of like, you're just kind of used to Xbox news being like this. So that's part of the emotional reaction here for me. And then the third part of it all, when it comes to Contraband, is not really knowing what you lost. And I get the argument.
Okay, you know what I love in my open world survival games? I mean, I if it's not hit, I riot. Okay, it's my fruity backpack with like stupid pins and shit. Oh man, if my survival game doesn't have that, I scream so hard.
To Contraband is not really knowing what you lost. And I get the argument people can make towards someone like myself who was really angry about Project Black.
Also, who made this? This is not how mud works, but okay.
That was a case where a lot of details had leaked, but also you have a trusted team there, a proven team there that's really made a lot of money and played by the rules and has a great pipeline. They have all the reasons to be handed a brand new IP, and they just got shafted. So it is a fair counter argument to how I emotionally responded to what was happening with Project Blackbird versus this. But in the case of Contraband, when you show up, CG trailer, we got nothing to go off of outside of a text description, and that's really it. And it's
man, if that does not literally summarize 90% of what Xbox currently is, CGI trailer, and like, please pre-order. Oh my god.
It's gone for years and years. All we have, as I said at the top of the...
Listen, I'm not saying there's a reason Sony can literally, and Nintendo can just put Mario for $100 and still somehow win against Xbox. Actually should be doing currently a video, finally finding a little bit of time to make fun of the Outer Worlds 2. Because they lowered their price to $70 instead of $80. And I know there's going to be some absolute mouth breather in the comments writing, well, it wasn't actually $80. It was $79.99. That's $80, you stupid ass. It is. It's 1 cent off of 80. That's closer to 80 than 70 in all ways. Stop. God damn, I hate you.
Video is a little bit of an update on a release window, and you completely missed that. Yeah, I was surprised this wasn't in last month's Bloodbath. What this does tell us, though, is that if you're a project...
Also, this is going to be our new CEO, boys. I personally am down. Her feet, kind of good. Kind of pretty good. I am excited for the new direction Xbox is going to be led by our strong independent DEI hire with luscious feet. Okay, it is what it is, boys.
Who's been in development for 3-4 years, and you're not hitting milestones, and you're not seeing some sort of traction, and you're not about to make money soon, then you're done. And that's a mixed topic to talk about. In a lot of ways, this is business, and I'm not going to defend, again, situations like how Xbox handled Project Blackbird. Absolutely awful. Or Perfect Dark looking really good, and then, yes, it's going to take years to get out, but we as fans...
Perfect Dark did not look really good. This was fake non-gameplay that Xbox once again tried to lie and say, oh, this is in-game gameplay. This is literally worse than the Witcher 4 tech demo, which was not a tech demo of Witcher 4, but the Unreal Engine 4, and they just decided to call it the Witcher 4 tech demo and have a guy with a console pretend that he's actually playing the tech demo, which was not fucking playable. This is literally that same level of deception and lying. Perfect Dark was probably not even actually started. Perfect Dark, Perfect Karen.
Now know how great it looked and what we'll never get to experience. That type of communication, the continuous lapse of it, is something I'll get angry about. But this is a business. Hundreds, thousands of games get canceled. The problem with Xbox is they announce these things way too early, dude. That is the problem in it all. It's announcing these games too early because these cancellations do happen, but it goes all the way back to the...
I don't actually think they announced them too early. There are some situations true, yeah, whatever. But they're not actually announcing a lot of things too early. They're just canceling. If you... Maddie is someone who is literally never going to admit that a concept like DEI or woke even exists. So he needs to find interesting and fun ways to talk about these things and blame some other ghost in the system for the failure of all of this. The reality of it is Xbox got absolutely slapped by their decision making, and they went super woke. Okay, Xbox went super woke with their gaming. Again, there's so many like. In the past 3 years, Xbox has released more woke canon games than I mean the whole games industry combined almost. And well, Xbox at one point now has understood, wait a minute, this is actually extremely not profitable. And they are axing things. They are axing things that look woke, that people are making fun of. This is what Xbox is now doing because, well, everything they have done so far is bad, and now they're finding different solutions. I personally don't think the different solutions are going to manifest in any meaningful way. I think it's going to be just the same old story. Yeah, Xbox is now going to cancel the future next 3 South of Midnights. And then they're going to greenlight the next future 5 South of Midnights again because they didn't actually make any meaningful progress because the rot is too deep. Simple.
Core of the issue. Lack of games being shipped. So what does Xbox do? They try to manifest this excitement around the brand by reaching for announcements. And reaching for a grand announcement is not always a bad thing, but they've done it a lot. We talk about State of Decay 3, and then they reach for Contraband. They reach for a lot of these games that were all just CG. And let us not forget, Xbox is known for having the third-party gameplay showcase with very little gameplay within it. In fairness, Xbox has gotten away from announcing games too early, but there is one other game that was announced very early, just conceptually, and that was OD with Kojima. This is a game that many Xbox fans want to have happen because Kojima's gone and toured all the platforms. Like he was going to make a Stadia game, but nothing's really happened with Xbox. Well, when this news broke, Jason Schreier did confirm with a Microsoft spokesperson that OD, the collaboration between Xbox and Hideo Kojima, is still in development. We actually got a small...
Yeah, I'm not going to believe lying Schreier.
...update on this in an article with Essence, who interviewed Hideo Kojima, and he says the most Kojima thing imaginable. Following Death Stranding, Kojima Productions announced 2 new titles with scarce details. Fizzant will return to the action espionage formula of Metal Gear Solid. Meanwhile, a short trailer for something called OD features the eerie, digitally rendered faces of actors Sophia Lillis and Udo Kier, disembodied and mostly screaming. Kojima describes the game as something totally different. People will either love it or hate it. And whenever OD comes
out, I swear Kojima is currently literally just trying to make a game that people hate and he's not succeeding. I swear Kojima just is trying to make the worst game possible, but he's constantly just somehow not doing it. He has been talking about making a game that people hate forever now. It's just, my God.
Out, he'll read all the tweets, watch the YouTube videos, scan all the reviews, but the reception won't matter to him then. Kojima is confident enough to know the legacy of his body of work will be defined much later. The real evaluations come after 10 or 20 years from now, he says. So it's still active, and it's going to be a different one. And given this is the man who, before Death Stranding 2 came out, we heard that he was telling his team to make the game less fun so it was more divisive. Yeah, he is that type of dude. But I'm glad this game is still alive. But the lesson to be learned here are 2 things. 1, Xbox, stop announcing games so early. 2, it goes down to leadership and shipping games. Sometimes an early announcement isn't a bad thing when you have companies who, when they announce things, they commit to it and you actually get the game out the door, because then there's that trust relationship with the consumer. And need I get into the trust relationship that is completely broken between Xbox and its many fans or former fans, right? Enough lies have been told or inconsistencies have been seen where it's like fans have left and gone to other consoles or PC, and you can't really blame them. And I think the sad part of it all is that if you tally it up, there have just been so many canceled games or shut down studios across this Xbox generation on a public level that the number probably rivals the amount of games shipped out of Xbox game studios this generation. I feel like it's got to be semi-close. But here's the thing I talk about with canceled games a lot. Sometimes we look at them with rose-tinted glasses, right? Like I described the Blackbird. You hear about it, it sounds awesome, and as I described in that video, it's about the team and being able to be given that chance. But we hear about something like Contraband, heist-based game, Sea of Thieves, but like with a bunch of cops and robbers vibe to it. Like, okay, that sounds sick. However, for all we know, this game was turning into a shit show. And I mean, given that it's been in development for 4 years now, we've seen nothing of it. I think that's a fair assumption to make. And if there's a lesson Xbox could learn from this generation, it's that if a game gets to Redfall status, where it's like, this isn't good, you got to shut it down. That's all there is to it. However, things currently aren't really clear with some of the studios that were affected from last month's layoffs. Let's take Turn 10, for example. They posted, "Dear Forza community, we know many of you have questions about what's next for the Forza franchise, and we appreciate the support in our incredible community. We wanted to assure players that Turn 10 and Playground Games will continue to support Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon 5. To start, here's more info about what's coming next to Forza Motorsport, and it features just some updates on what's going on with Forza Motorsport, but right now, no confirmation about like what's next for this franchise." And I know you're like, well, how does this pull into what we're talking about now? But it's all about the uncertainty, the lack of clarity in Xbox's future.
This does not feel fast.
I feel like everything that's happening with Xbox is very near term. Back when Contraband was announced, we all felt we saw the vision, the collective vision. Xbox was getting the PlayStation's level. They were investing in studios, getting competitive exclusives for their platform, trying to fuel Game Pass, trying to make it as attractive of a service as possible. They were standing toe-to-toe here. But now we're in this part of the Xbox life cycle where we don't even know where one of their most prominent franchises is going. Of course, we know we're going to get a Horizon 6, but is there never going to be a Motorsport again? Xbox just claimed in a quarterly earnings update that they have over 40 games in development across their teams. Are games such as Contraband going to be an attractive option? How is Xbox doing business with partners moving forward? Is what we're seeing with something like Ninja Gaiden 4 a great example of what to expect in the future? It's all unclear, and it feels like every step we just get like a little bit more, but then you know they're just like one sentence away from walking it back. So overall, that's what's happening with Xbox right now. For me, the reaction, I cover Xbox a lot. I talk about them a lot. It just doesn't feel that strong. I saw that kind of reflected in the community too. It was kind of this is a shame. I'm annoyed at the leadership. The lack of ability to ship games or signing off on games that they never had a chance of shipping is greatly frustrating. Or just picking partners that can't ship, right? Like, that's the other aspect. How much blame can be shared with Avalanche? We don't really have the expose, the inside details on all of this, but it is just frustrating to continuously see it, and especially when people are still expecting more layoffs across Xbox.
I hope there's more layoffs. I really hope there's more layoffs. Layoffs sound amazing, Matthew. Do not get me wet, okay? I will be wet. I'm so sweaty. Anyway, it looks like Xbox is an absolute disaster. I know, who would have expected that? Xbox and failure. The two words you never thought to see in one goddamn sentence, huh? Yeah, Xbox. I mean, I just want the new. I just want the new DEI CEO. That's all I'm saying, honestly, here, boys. That's it. Anyway, that was Mr. Matty Place. To now the 10. Bye.